A former ally says that Eduardo Bolsonaro had a safe with 250,000 in the Chamber of Deputies and that it was money from a kickback scheme. Wow, that's where the money came from. According to the former ally, the money kept in the safe would have come from an alleged kickback scheme. Junquera reports that 2 employees received their full salaries and returned half of their earnings to the office. The amounts, according to him, were deposited in the safe until they reached 250,000 reais, and that this money, later, he used to buy property. That must be why the Bolsonaro family bought, and with cash, more than 50 properties. That's why the Bolsonaro family has more than 107 properties, right, guys? See, it's salary kickbacks here, salary kickbacks there, back and forth in every possible way. For God's sake. And then he still acts like a champion of morality, of whatever, of this and that. It's all dirty. It's all, I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know who's worse. They're just that bad. Meanwhile, look here. Nunes Marquez blocks video linking Flávio Bolsonaro to the PCC, but allows the gang to be linked to Lula. The president of the TSE denied the PT's request and kept online a video in which Flávio calls Lula a defender of the PCC and the Comando Vermelho. And a week earlier, the minister sided with the PL and removed content that associated the senator with the faction. In other words, what is he doing? He is trying to protect Flávio and mess with Lula. Flávio can post saying that Lula is involved and defends the PCC and I don't know what else. And Lula can't post that Flávio is tied to a kickback scheme, involved with militias, involved with all kinds of shady things. Do you understand, my dear? It's tough, isn't it? Yeah, what does that mean? That our engagement has to be much greater. Because from what it looks like, on their side, they'll be able to do everything. And everything's packed. Everything's fine. Everything's legal. And on our side, we won't be able to do anything. The left, the Workers' Party, won't be able to do anything. Because if they do, did you get it? And it's already getting ugly, right, guys? Like it's already getting ugly. Really ugly. Then, to try to target Lula, they decided to open a new police investigation against Lulinha, Lula's son. Thank you. They're going on a fishing expedition, right? They're trying everything they can to see if they find anything against Lula's son. Actually, it's not even about justice or anything like that. It's just to hurt Lula electorally. That's what they want. Then the reopening of the police investigation was requested and it was reopened. But guess who it landed with? It ended up with Flávio Dino. And Flávio Dino is already taking steps to open an inquiry to investigate the leak of confidential information about Fabio, Lula's son. Because what's happening, stop and think. Andre Mendonça, he's going after Lula's son with everything he's got. They've already obtained his bank records, phone records, and electronic data. They've already gone through everything on the guy. And against Flávio Bolsonaro, Andre Mendonça doesn't take any action. He took action to open a specific investigation against Flávio, against Eduardo Bolsonaro, because he was pressured.
And by federal lawmakers.
Who brought in the Prosecutor General's office, brought in the police, and both the police and the Prosecutor General's office. So, put pressure on Andre Mendonça, and Andre Mendonça had to say, no, you can investigate. So you can investigate Flávio and you can investigate Eduardo Bolsonaro for the money from Daniel Vorcaro for the movie, which we don't know if it was really for the movie, more than 61 million reais. And until now, he hasn't lifted the secrecy around Flavio's records. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't lift Flavio's confidentiality. He doesn't lift Eduardo Bolsonaro's confidentiality. He doesn't lift the secrecy around the fund manager's records, where the money went. He doesn't do anything. While when it comes to Lula's son, he's going after him in every possible way, and he's not finding anything. That's the problem. Now, by random draw, this new investigation request ended up with whom? Flavio Dino. Then things could change. Because for God's sake, it's already becoming clear that everything is being directed to try to target Lula and not to actually carry out real justice. Because are we going to use the same standard? Are we going to use it? We are. Did they lift banking secrecy on Lulina's accounts, Lula's son? They did. That's fine. Did you think it needed to be lifted? That's fine. Did they break Flavio's? Did you find anything about Lulina? No. You found something about Flavio demanding millions of raise from Daniel Borcaro. And he himself said that they received 61 million, and he said it was for the movie, and to this day there has been no accounting for it. So like it has to be the same standard for both, and that's not what's happening. The goal is very clear, in my view. Everything that Andre Mendonça and Nunes Marquez can do to harm Lula and benefit Flavio, they will do. But notice what I said. Everything they can do, I don't believe they will put themselves on the line because of Flavio. They will do those things they can do. Did you understand? Thank you. Oh my. Dino is chosen as the rapporteur for the third request to investigate Lulina at the Federal Supreme Court. Dino authorizes a new investigation against Lulina. And Dino also asked the question, why are they breaching confidential records? It's getting out, it's leaking, and they weren't supposed to leak. So soon, everyone, all of this will become very obvious to Brazilian society. It's going to look bad. But well, let's see what happens, right? What I do know is that the bread, the more you knead it, the more it rises. Have you ever made bread? That's right, bread, the dough, the more you knead it, the more you beat it, it rises. And I think that's going to be a major self-inflicted wound in the end. Meanwhile, Andre Mendonça's advisor at the Federal Supreme Court signed off on 6 changes in the federal police in the case of Flávio Bolsonaro's salary kickback scheme. Among Andre Mendonça's main advisors at the Federal Supreme Court and the Superior Electoral Court are Tercio Tesio and Izane Tocano. He was even considered by Bolsonaro for the positions of Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Union. And he was the key figure in the replacement of federal police commissioners in Rio amid the investigations into Flavio's Rachadinha scheme. Moro accused him of interfering in the agency. Coincidence, Andrea. One of Andre Mendonça's main advisors. It's this one, Tesio. During Bolsonaro's government, he replaced several police chiefs who were investigating Flávio Bolsonaro for a salary kickback scheme. It was so blatant at the time, so obvious, that even Sergio Moro, who was the Minister of Justice, resigned from his position as Minister of Justice. And he said he was leaving because Bolsonaro was interfering with the federal police to protect his son from the salary kickback investigation. And the main person who did that, changing the police chiefs, is Andre Mendonça's main advisor today. He is a federal police chief. He is Andre Mendonça's main advisor at the Federal Supreme Court and at the Superior Electoral Court. Let me ask you something. Is there any way something good can come out of this situation? I know one thing. I know that for much less, Minister Alexandre de Moraes was attacked in every possible way, saying he was biased, saying he was disqualified, saying all sorts of things. That Alexandre de Moraes couldn't hear the case, that Alexandre de Moraes couldn't do this and that and the other thing. And how do you explain Andre Mendonça leading an investigation against Flávio Bolsonaro if he's friends with Flávio Bolsonaro? How do you explain the situation where the person who shielded Flávio Bolsonaro in the salary kickback investigation, a federal police chief, is now Andre Mendonça's main advisor? Is that allowed? Is it allowed or not? It isn't, right? What's going on? This here is blatant, like I told you, for much less Alexandre de Moraes. They called for Alexandre de Moraes' impeachment almost every day in the National Congress, saying that he was disqualified, that he was biased, and so on and so forth. What is this then? What about Andre Mendonça? He is leading investigations where one of the parties involved is his friend. That's what I want to know too. In fact, you asked me this question that I was going to answer at 8 p.m. But I'm already answering now. I want to know too. How is that possible? Meanwhile, look at the scam. Cleitinho backtracks and says he still wants to run for governor of Minas Gerais. I want to be a candidate for governor, and I humbly ask the president to give us this spot. I won't disappoint the party. I won't disappoint you, Mr. President. I will expand the party's Minas Gerais delegation and work mainly for the people of Minas Gerais. Then the president of Republicanos, Marcos Pereira, said no. Marcos Pereira denied the request and declared. He declared the deliberative phase of the meeting closed. This morning, I explained to you that Cleitinho had withdrawn his candidacy for the governorship of the state of Minas Gerais. I didn't show you the video. No, I will show it. I'm going to show the video of him withdrawing, and now he's begging for God's sake to let him be the candidate. What is this? What the heck is this, for God's sake? For God's sake, what the heck is this? I'll explain it to you. Look here.
Hey guys, how's it going? I want to address specifically.
Hey, I don't have X and they're not going to let me in. So let me show you. Through this thing here, look, right here, I'll show you right here.
Especially the people from Minas Gerais. And for those who don't know me, I'm Marcos Pereira, a federal deputy for São Paulo and the national president of Republicanos. We have been discussing this issue of Senator Cleitinho Azevedo's candidacy for a long time within Republicanos, with the party president in the state of Minas Gerais, Deputy Euclides Pedersen. And back and forth, we made a decision last week due to some conditions that were set by Cleitinho. We understand, Cleitinho, you know that. You have my full sympathy. The passing of your brother. Now, yeah, Cleitinho didn't show up, just to state it here without blaming anyone. The facts, right? The chronology of events. Cleitinho didn't attend the convention. I asked him to go to São Paulo to record with me, saying that he was a candidate. We gave him the opportunity until Tuesday night. It wasn't possible for him to attend, mainly because of this moment of mourning, of pain that he's going through, not just him, but his family as well. Now we are here in Brasilia, gathered together. We had a meeting here with Cleitinho, with Euclides, with the former mayor of Pará de Minas, Luis. Falcão, with Congresswoman Ludia, with Congressman Carlos Henrique. And we discussed it exhaustively, didn't we, Cleitinho?
Yes, we did.
Tema. And we called the possible allied parties the PL União and Progressistas. And Cleitinho made a decision spontaneously, given the difficult moment he's going through this year. I want to make it clear, Cleitinho, and I want you to confirm this, that the Republican Party, even after Wednesday, we had a long meeting, right? A 5-hour meeting there in São José dos Campos. And we gave him every opportunity to be a candidate. But he has a personal decision, Euclides, that he needs to express because of this moment he's going through. I want you to speak with complete honesty, with all your heart, because you are a serious man, an honorable man, a man of principles and values, and you are a sentimental man. I know you are going through this difficult moment, and we stand in solidarity with you. Speak, Cleitinho, with complete honesty. I mean it with all my heart.
I address the people here. I don't want to ask for forgiveness.
Just pull a little more.
I want to ask your forgiveness because things are not easy for me or my family right now. There's no point in me joining the campaign now the way I am. There's no point in me wanting to take care of you if you're not taking care of me, not taking care of my family. I have to be honest with you. I have to tell the truth. Here, Euclides has always helped. He offered the Senate nomination. He brought you back. You also waited for me as long as you needed to. I ask for forgiveness, but right now I'm not well. I need to recover to take care of myself because there's no point in wanting to take care of you if you're not taking care of me. I ask for forgiveness, but for the love of God.
Yeah, so that was yesterday. So today, now, like I already told you, it's only until tomorrow. You have to decide this situation. You can register the candidacy until the 15th at 7 p.m. until 7 p.m. But this situation of union, coalition, support, running mate, everything is until tomorrow. So today, he already went to the convention and asked, no, I want to be the candidate. Let me be the candidate, blah, blah, blah. Then the president of the PR, Marcos Pereira, said, no. And I've already explained to you that this is a big defeat for Flávio because Cleitinho was going to support Flávio and he was going to bring him along and he was going to be with Flávio's group there in Minas Gerais. And Cleitinho was the top contender with the highest numbers in the polls. He was winning for governor of Minas Gerais. So yesterday he said one thing, today he said another. And the president of the Republicanos Party said no. And I've already explained this here. I'm not going to keep repeating it so it doesn't get boring, but I've already explained to you what my perception is. There will be an all-PL ticket because no one will want to associate with Flávio. Why? Because they don't know what scandals are still to come against Flávio Bolsonaro. And if they join with Flávio, that means they'll be joining forces at the state level, and joining in the states means losing. It's losing deputies, losing senators, losing governors, and they don't want that. Do you understand? That's why Flávio's time is running out. He only has until tomorrow to choose his running mate. Only until tomorrow. If he doesn't choose, he'll have to pick someone from the PL. Possibly a woman from the PL, which would make it an all-PL ticket, meaning isolation, that nobody wants him, isolation, and that nobody is willing to stick their neck out to be with him. Do you understand, my dear? And many of these parties are not going to announce support for Lula. No, support. What are they going to announce? Neutrality. But neutrality in this environment is support for Lula. Did you get the code? MA, that's the situation, okay? Let's see what happens. Rogerio Correa, who's from Minas, even talked about this situation involving Cleitinho. He said this before Cleitinho changed his mind. Look here, pay attention.
Don't you know who buys you, Cleitinho? He just announced that he won't be a candidate alongside Euclides Petras. In tears. Actually, both of them cried. Well, crocodile tears, you know. Everyone knows they've been longtime campaign partners and also in financing, and Euclides Petras today is one step away from going to prison. After all, He's the one who received money to steal from the retirees of that so-called CONAFE and is indicted by the federal police. Cleitinho is deeply compromised in this, with earmarks that involved both of them, and everyone knew about it, especially their opponents on the right. The other candidate kept saying from the right that Cleitinho wouldn't be a candidate. He was sure of it.
Of that.
It could have been blackmail. It could have been fear. I don't know. Other things too. He said the other day that they even tried to buy his candidacy. There's a lot of strange stuff going on, folks. But one thing is certain. Now, Flávio Bolsonaro is going to look for another candidate. And don't be surprised, okay? Because they always manage to come up with even worse things. We can't even imagine, but you can bet something bad is coming again. It's a good thing we have Patris Ananias from the workers' side. There's an honest candidate. Experienced, who has already done a lot for Minas Gerais, for Belo Horizonte, and for Brazil. Minas Gerais benefits from Cleitinho's withdrawal and Bolsonaro's downfall.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? They were satisfied to buy, but they didn't pay, right? Because he backed out. That must have been it. Now, about supporting Flávio, also the fact that he doesn't have a running mate from another party. Besides the money issue, because a running mate also brings financial support, but there's something else. A running mate from another party obviously brings what? More TV time. So even that, Flávio is going to lose. Besides losing the financial support that comes from having a running mate from another party, which from all indications he won't have because nobody wants it, no party wants it, he's also going to lose television time. Because if he makes an alliance and has a running mate from another party, he will add the other party's television time. And if he doesn't have it, if he runs on a single party ticket, as all indications suggest he will also lose television time, Flávio Bolsonaro. So, he's desperate. Flávio Bolsonaro, I believe today, he's going everywhere begging for God's sake, be my running mate. You, and no one wants to. But let's wait and see what happens. By tomorrow, we'll find out the whole situation. But from all indications, he's isolated and no one will want to get involved with Flávio. Shall we listen to a statement from those responsible for the operation just now? From the police against the terrorists, let's watch it here on Reedy TVT. Let's watch it together.
They mainly targeted the buildings here in the central area of Brasilia. So, as an example, they marked which ministries were which and which departments they belonged to. This was in search of a definition of what they called primary targets. So, they drew a map of the central area, marking all the ministries, the National Congress, and the Supreme Federal Court. And they were defining what the primary target would be. In addition, they distributed the floor plan of the Planalto Palace as the choice for the primary target.
But did they mention specific names or was it variable?
No, they didn't mention specific names. That's a characteristic we noticed. It's like they were against the political system without specifying whether it was the left, the right, or the center, but against the political system as a whole.
Was there any date already set for these actions?
Yes, there was a month. They were planning for October of this year during the election period. They mainly shared the buildings here in the central area of Brasilia.
Well, for me, they're terrorists, right? They're terrorists. It's the bottom of the barrel of the far right that wasn't held accountable for the coup attempt. That's the truth. And they were planning attacks on the electoral process, especially in the second round. You understand? But then everything fell apart and the police went after them, okay? Congressman Ottoni. He talked a little bit about this chaotic situation of Flávio Bolsonaro's isolation. No party wants to stick their neck out to be Flávio's running mate. Let me tell you something. Do you think Romeo Zima won't team up with him? Because Romeo Zima also doesn't have a running mate. Soon the two of them will join forces. The two isolated ones will come together. It could happen, it could happen. Romeo Zema is from Podemos, right? Is Romeo Zema from Central Podemos? So, let's take a look at this. Well, let's see what Ottoni de Paula, who is actually right-wing, has to say. Let's watch it together.
Guys, it's a real humiliation that Flávio Bolsonaro's campaign is going through. Renata Abreu, president of Podemos, said no to Flávio Bolsonaro's offer for her to be his running mate. Republicanos has already decided that they will not support Flávio Bolsonaro. Therefore, the running mate he wanted, his dream running mate, a former president of Caixa Econômica Federal, whose name escapes me at the moment. She is from the Republicans. The Republicans said no. Now, the biggest embarrassment of all was the invitation made to Senator Teresa Cristino, an extraordinary woman, to be his running mate. Teresa accepted, but she accepted out of the respect she has for Bolsonaro. Only because of that. But in reality, she knew that her party, the PP União Brasil Federation, wouldn't agree, and they didn't agree. But do you know what happened? In the meeting between the Federation and the PL, they said, do you want Teresa? Only if she's the top of the ticket, and Flávio would be the running mate. Because Teresa, yes, she represents a national project. And they said that Flávio represents a family project. Now, how is that possible? After party conventions, the guy already has his campaign out on the streets, and the party simply tells him, want my support? Let's go. Let's switch. I have someone better than you who represents Brazil and the right wing more than you do. Yeah. Flávio Bolsonaro's campaign is giving clear signs that Lula will win again. Guys, it's a real
disgrace.
Total disgrace, right, guys? Total isolated, abandoned. You'll have less TV time, you'll have less money, and nobody wants to get up on the stage and say, we're with you. Why? Because they know he's dirty as hell. Put it there. Go ahead. Put it. Put it. Lula even wins a fourth time in the first round. If God allows it. Friend of Flávio from the mansion in Ilha de Angra, Willing Thomas is a target of the federal police for fraud at INSS. In 2019, Willing Thomas and Flávio Bolsonaro withdrew about 1.5 million at a casino in Las Vegas. The lawyer is at the center of the mansion case in Angra in a dispute with Richardson. He's Charlison. And he also works as the accountant for the bald guy from INSS. That's right. This one was just targeted by the federal police in the INSS fraud. This one has even flown to Florida on a private jet together with Flávio Bolsonaro. And at the casino, guess what? They walked out with 1.5 million. They said they won at the casino. Hi. Jesus, turn on the light, man, for God's sake, right, guys? Yeah. His body is up to his neck in this. In fact, Flávio has posts with him. Flávio has already said on a live stream that he's a close friend of his and that he's involved up to his neck in the INSS fraud. And we already know, right? That Leticia, who is a partner in Flávio Bolsonaro's company, is the sister of the accountant of the bald guy from INSS. The bald guy from INSS who's in jail. Here's the thing, guys. If there's no protection, Flávio is going to jail soon. Give me a break. INSS fraud, federal police find a bill counting machine and piles of cash. The machine was found in the office of the lawyer Willier Tomas. One of the targets of the investigation, which is looking into an alleged money laundering scheme related to fraudulent INSS deductions. So, does it mean that everyone who is friends with Flávio Bolsonaro seems to be a criminal? You keep some pretty bad company, huh, Flávio? What is this, Jesus? The operation also, look, was launched against, here, look, federal police launches a new phase of the Operation No Discount and targets relatives of Senator Everton Rocha. This same operation here, look. which was also launched against Flávio Bolsonaro's close friend, and also against relatives of Senator Welder Rocha from the PDT. That's it. Whoever is involved, my dear, has to get what they deserve. And now, at this very moment, Minister Andre Mendonça has lifted the secrecy surrounding the investigation into the INSS fraud. I don't have access because he just lifted it now, and I'm live here with you all. But it just came out that Minister Andre Mendonça lifted the secrecy surrounding the investigation into the INSS fraud. I believe it's related to today's operation that's happening against Flávio Bolsonaro's close friend and the senator's family members, Everton Rocha. Okay? But I can't tell you because it just happened right now. But obviously tomorrow I'll bring you more information about these situations because we want justice, right? What's good for the goose is good for the gander too. And there shouldn't be any shielding, especially for Flávio Bolsonaro, which seems to be happening. What do you think? Do you see it or not? Because up until now, the guy's bank secrecy hasn't been lifted yet, Flávio Bolsonaro. Asking Daniel Vorker for money and still nothing. It's strange. It's really hard. Meanwhile, oh my, the office that represents the Brazilian government says that the companies are trying to reframe the lawsuit to say that it's against Moraes as an individual. According to the AGU, since the actions in question were carried out by the minister while performing his official duties, Brazil is the real interested party in the case and is protected by sovereign immunity under American law. What happened? Donald Trump's company is suing Alexandre de Moraes in the United States, which says that Alexandre de Moraes is causing harm to the media. Humbler media, Donald Trump's technology companies, because Alexandre de Moraes banned the broadcasting, takes down profiles and everything else, exactly because of the abuse of freedom of expression. So the lawsuit there is not going very well. Why? Because when Alexandre de Moraes made those decisions, he did it as a justice of Brazil's Federal Supreme Court, as a public figure, as a public servant, a representative of the branches of government. So if Trump wants to file a lawsuit against someone, he won't file it against Alexandre de Moraes personally. He will file it against the entity he represents, which is the Federation, the Union, the Judiciary. And Donald Trump and his defense really want to file the lawsuit they filed against Alexandre de Moraes, but that's not how it works. In that case, that lawsuit can't be brought because they filed it against Alexandre de Moraes. But it's actually against the Brazilian state. So this lawsuit can't be brought against the Brazilian state or Alexandre de Moraes because it's a matter of sovereignty. Now they want to change it and say it's not against the Brazilian state but against Alexandre de Moraes personally. But that doesn't work. Do you know what's going to happen with this lawsuit here? It's going to end up going nowhere. Nothing will come of it. This is just to pander to the base and feed the base. Oh, now it's going to happen. Now Alexandre de Moraes is going to get caught. Oh, it's not going to lead to anything. You can mark it on your calendar. This is going to be dismissed. Maybe it won't be filed away for now because Donald Trump is still president over there in the United States and the judiciary will try to drag it out. But this isn't going to lead to anything. This will go down in history as a shame for the United States judiciary, which is trying to cover up for the troublemaker. Because I don't know if you know, over there, the judges aren't like here in Brazil. It's not a civil service exam. There, it's a political appointment. Do you get the point? Yeah, this isn't going to lead to anything. It's not going to lead to anything, you know? Now, in the meantime, look here. Trade war. 25 U.S. states are suing the Trump administration over tariffs that affect Brazil. At least 25 U.S. states, the governors, mayors are suing Donald Trump over the heavy tariffs. Why? Because he is causing losses for the residents, for the people, for small business owners, for large business owners with these heavy tariffs. Because his heavy tariffs are not for commercial reasons. They're not. His heavy tariffs are an attempt to attack other countries. It's an attempt to blackmail other countries. For example, Brazil. He wants, at all costs, to have access to rare earths, to have access to our resources, and he won't get it. He won't get it the way he wants. So what does he do? He goes and imposes huge tariffs to try to blackmail, especially Lula's government, to see if they can bring Lula down and all that. And we already know that this situation backfired badly on the Bolsonaro supporters. Because we know that the ones behind all of this were Alexandre Ramagem, Eduardo Bolsonaro, and Flávio Bolsonaro. Passing on a lot of unofficial, unreliable information to the United States government exactly to support the false reports that don't justify, because it's unjustifiable, the tariff hike. And they tried to target Lula, making him out to be responsible, but it became very clear to everyone who was really responsible: the far right. Along with Donald Trump, Eduardo Bolsonaro, and Flávio Bolsonaro. And over there in the United States, things are getting intense. Donald Trump has the highest disapproval rating in history. And several states are taking legal action against Donald Trump. Because of this tariff hike, which has no financial, technical, or commercial basis to justify what he is doing, especially against Brazil. Who he actually wants to target and bring down is Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. But Brazil belongs to Brazilians. Brazil is sovereign. PIX is ours. And Lula will win for the 4th time. Did you get it? So that's the situation. I'll see if there's any more updates here, so we can talk and show you, okay? I'll show this part here, Cleitinho. Ow, Cleitinho! I showed you this Cleitinho crying, didn't I? Saying he didn't want to be a candidate anymore, and so on and so on. We found him here now asking. Now he's asking to be the candidate for governor of Minas Gerais. And what did the Republicanos party say? No, Mané. Look here. Yeah, man.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning to everyone here at the table, and good morning to all the authorities present and the press that is here. First, I want to make a point here with all humility to thank you for meeting with me on Thursday, for meeting with me yesterday. But yesterday, everyone saw the video I made with President Marcos Ferreira, who was also with the state president, Euclides Peterson. And I have to tell you something here with all humility, that it's the Holy Spirit who's asking me to say this. I've been going through a period of mourning for 15 days, right? And yesterday, when I was about to make a decision about this situation, from Sunday to Monday, I had a moment of vulnerability, of spirituality. I wasn't well, and I made this video with Marcos Ferreira. My mother, my brother left where they were, came to my house early this morning and told me the following: when the Holy Spirit speaks to me in the messages I've been receiving, don't give up. We're going to campaign for you. We're going to stand by you. So for my father, for my brother, for my mother, for the teacher, for the military police, for all the workers of Brazil, of Minas Gerais, for all the truck drivers, for every nurse, for everyone who exists, for every person from Minas, I want to be a candidate for governor of the state, and I ask here for a big hug to the president who gave me this spot. I will not disappoint the party. I will not disappoint you, Mr. President. I'm going to make this impact even bigger, girl, within my party. As governor from my party, I will do everything to value even more each deputy, each councilman, each mayor, but especially the people of Minas. I want that in the last minute, looking into your eyes, looking at each one here. I sent you a message. I sent it to Cesar, who has been helping me, and to Narciso himself. I ask here that in the last minute, from the bottom of my heart, from the depths of my heart, now I want to be a candidate for governor. Raise your hand. So I humbly ask the president to give me this spot so that I can be sure I won't let you down, sir. And then God bless you. And then until he takes me, I'm sure with strength that the Holy Spirit will succeed those who campaign with my father and my brother up there. But they will help me, and the people will carry me in my journey, because the PSDB folks didn't want it. I won't let this campaign be lost.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, Andrea, what was the response from the Publicanos board to Cleitinho? No. We've already made a decision. And the decision is that you won't be a candidate, period. That's it. Type Lula Tetra there. Smash that like button. If you like it, stay. If you don't, just keep crying, okay? The crybabies keep whining. Oh, Jesus, stop crying. Type Lula Tetra there and be happy. Kisses.